You could own 20 acres of beautiful Michigan dirt, pay cash for a complete Barndominium floor plan, and still discover that the house cannot legally be built. The steel package, that's not your first decision. Your real build, it begins with a zoning map, a soil evaluation, a road agency permit, and a stack of local rules that don't care how perfect that rendering looks. While a buyer sees open land and assumes total freedom, the township, they see minimum frontage, required setbacks, permitted residential uses, and driveway access limits. Today, I'm showing you how a Michigan Barndominium gets stopped, which questions must be answered before closing on land, and where buyers confuse ownership with legal permission. This is general education, not legal advice, because every parcel, ordinance, deed, and site condition, they change the outcome. So consult local offices and qualified real estate attorneys. Let's start with the word barndominium. It sounds like a recognized building category, but the local government, they're not approving a lifestyle label. Officials, they determine whether the structure qualifies as a permitted dwelling under local zoning ordinances and whether the plans meet Michigan's residential code. The Michigan Zoning Enabling Act, it gives local governments authority to regulate land use through specific zoning districts. The state residential code controls structural construction rules, but local zoning determines if residential use belongs on that parcel. A structure can meet building code and still be prohibited by zoning. Passing one system does not clear you through the other. Title ownership, it does not give you automatic approval for your build. Identifying the municipality and zoning district. Before making an offer, identify the exact municipality controlling the land. A mailing address can name one town, while the parcel sits in a township with completely different rules. County boundaries, they do not determine which local ordinance applies. So pull the parcel number, find the zoning district map, and read its dimensional standards and permitted use table. Take your specific concept to the zoning administrator in writing. Do not ask, can I build a barndo here? Specify the square footage, the residential layout, the attached shop size, the building height, the exterior materials, and the intended business activity. A verbal should be fine. It's not written site plan confirmation. Construction order and shop ratio traps. The first hidden trap is construction sequence. A buyer wants to erect the metal shell, store equipment inside, and finish the living quarters later. Unfortunately, under many local ordinances, an unfinished shell is classified as an accessory structure. Local rules often prohibit accessory buildings on vacant land before an actual primary residence exists. Your contractor may understand the construction timeline, while zoning rejects the land use order. Another issue occurs when the shop dominates the floor plan. A large shop with a small apartment, it may look like a home to you. Local officials, they may reclassify the use if storage, vehicle repair, or commercial activity outweighs the residential footprint. Be precise about how the space is going to be used. Frontage, access, and driveway permits. Frontage issues can kill a build without touching your floor plan. 20 acres, it means nothing without required legal frontage on a public road. Land locked behind another parcel, it may rely on access easements or private roads that fail ordinance standards. Access also requires road agency approval. For state highways, MDOT requires a separate driveway permit before site plan approval. County road commissions, they handle local road access. Site distance, drainage, culvert sizes, and slope requirements determine where your entrance goes. If the driveway shifts, your entire building pad moves, colliding with setbacks or septic fields. Setbacks, height limits, and build envelopes. Setbacks create the next squeeze. Buyers often measure distances from the road pavement, but required setbacks begin at the road right-of-way line. Side and rear setbacks, they further shrink your buildable footprint. Add tall sidewalls, overhangs, attached lean-tos or porches, and the structure exceeds the initial plan footprint. Building height, it deserves careful review. Barndominiums feature tall walls and steep metal roof pitches. Oversized shop doors and lofts, they can push height past local limits. Never ask if a house fits on 20 acres. Ask if your exact exterior envelope fits inside the net buildable area. Septic, soil, and well isolation. Septic requirements, they erase builds faster than zoning. Michigan's on-site wastewater program is administered by local health departments, which evaluate soil and issue permits. A soil eval determines system type, drain field location, and the cost. Large acreage does not help if the only suitable soil sits where you plan the house. Wet soil, restrictive clay, or high water tables can force expensive engineered systems. Your drinking water well also requires protected isolation distances. Michigan law mandates minimum separation between wells and contamination sources. Place the well, septic field, driveway, and home on a single integrated site plan before waiving any contingencies. Wetlands, floodplains, and eagle permits. Wetlands, they create severe structural delays. Parcel ground may look dry in August, but regulated wetlands require permits from the Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy, also known as EGLE, for filling, excavation, or clearing. Online wetland maps are screening tools, not final boundary determinations. EGLE's Wetland Identification Program provides formal site reviews. Crossing questionable ground with a driveway, septic line, or foundation requires EGLE clearance before buying steel. Floodplain regulations also impose additional restrictions. Features that make acreage attractive, they often create the strictest environmental limits. Deed restrictions, covenants, and financing. Government zoning is only one layer. Deed restrictions, subdivision covenants, and recorded easements, they create private rules. The township may approve metal construction, while private deed covenants prohibit metal siding, pole barns, or detached shops. Make sure to review title commitments, surveys, and recorded restrictions carefully. Don't rely on verbal statements that covenants are unenforced. Financing adds another hurdle. Lenders require detailed plans, qualified builders, draw schedules, and appraisals supporting completed value. Appraisers need comparable barndo sales, while insurers evaluate shop risks, heating types, and commercial exposure. Make sure to verify lender and insurance terms early. Variances, due diligence, and certificate of occupancy. Don't rely on zoning variances as a backup strategy. Michigan zoning boards of appeals grant non-use variances only under strict legal standards. Buying non-compliant land and hoping for board approval is a high-risk gamble. Make all your purchase offers contingent on zoning approval, soil testing, and permit verification. Don't forget to ensure that your due diligence timeline allows adequate time for health department and road commission reviews. Finally, confirm your plan can meet Michigan's residential code to receive a final certificate of occupancy. Under Michigan state law, a building cannot be legally occupied without that final certificate. So make sure you verify use, prove access, test soil, and check title all before ordering steel. If you have any additional questions or you'd like to have a conversation, please shoot me an email. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date and have more clear answers on Michigan property rights. Keep your grip tight, Michigan. I'll see you on the next one.